Alrighty, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. Hope everybody's having a great trading session. So, really quick before we start our analysis on all the majors, which we're obviously going to do. So, I just want to let you know how I've been trading the dollar yen. So last night I exited my dollar yen. Not exited all of it. I exited about a third of my dollar yen. It started off with a quarter, and then I shaved off a little bit more of my dollar yen position. When we reached last night at 114.70s, like we were dipping into the 70s and 60s, like high 60s. We were about right here, right there, and we're coming into that 127% extension. You can see it right here. We were falling pretty aggressively. And we were about like right here last night, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and, because it's an Asian trade. You guys know how it is. In Asian trade, the things tend to get a little overbought or oversold, and things get a little exaggerated. And so last night was no exception. I took a little profit off the table. We continued lower into the 40s, and I said, nah, that's fine. But what I did is I put an offer in to sell some more when we reached 115.50. And so when we last night, apparently while I was sleeping or in Europe, we went as high as 115.53, and I sold some more at 115.50. It was actually 150. My fill was at 115.50.08. 115.508. Excuse me. So 0.8 of a pip. So almost 150. 115.51. I literally almost top ticked that bad boy, which was great. So I didn't add it back my full quarter, but now my cost average, just so you all know, I'm still short the dollar yen, and my cost average is 115.99 now because it's FIFO. I end up taking profits from much higher up near the 117 level, and have some of my cost average back here. So I was talking to one of our traders in our in our chat room yesterday. Last night, actually, as I was exiting, and he goes, so are you expecting a bounce? And I'm like, yes, I'm expecting a retracement, but I want to keep a core position. He's a newer trader in our chat room. His name's Craig, and you guys understand, and I hope you all understand, that when I'm looking for a move, okay, if I'm looking for, like, let's say, and just so you all know, I'm looking for a move in the dollar yen down to 105. All right, so this is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a move to 105 right here. Okay, somewhere in this neighborhood. Okay, somewhere down here, 105, 108, somewhere down here. We're currently, and I started shorting it somewhere around here. Okay, on Friday. Okay, but you notice that my cost average is at right here now. The reason why that happens is, in the United States, we have what's called FIFO. FIFO is first in, first out. So if I short right here and I exit it right here, I'm exiting the stuff that I bought or I shorted up here. But as I add, my additions are the lower prices. Okay, so if I short here and I short here first and I short here next, it's going to take my best price first when I take profits. So as I'm working a position down into this direction, as I take profits on the way down, it's going to keep taking my better prices, hopefully, as long as things are going the way that I assume they're going to go. As we go down here, we're going to be doing this the whole way. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So every time we go, here, let me erase that. So every time we go, down, okay, like this, okay, we go down, I'm going to take some profits. We go up, I'm going to sell some more. Then we're going to, hopefully go back down again. I'm going to take some profits. We go back up, I'm going to sell some more. We go down, and the whole time, my cost average is just dropping with prices too, because what I keep doing is I keep exiting the stuff that I enter earlier. All right, and that's how you work like a core position lower. You guys, many of you have been listening to these webinars for years and years and years. You know, when I'm working a core position, that's what happens. But for those of you that are newer, it's harder to understand, and especially if you're European or Asian, where you don't have the FIFO rules. You know, and I miss that. I remember when the when the NFA required us to do FIFO, which was just so irritating. But that was like, I want to say it was about, I don't know, about 3 or 4 years ago. You know, before then, we used to be able to, like, I could sell, you know, the US dollar Japanese yen here at 122 or 121 and change. I can sell another one at 118, and then I could exit my 118 and hang on to my 121 position. Okay, I used to be able to do that. I can't, you know, we can't do that anymore, which it's a shame. But I know you guys in Europe can do it, and in Asia, and if you're not in the United States. But anyway, that's how I have to work a core position, just so you can. And David says we can do that here in Canada. Yeah, because you guys are not regulated by the you know, the NFA, and so the NFA has this quirky rule, which NFA does a lot of good things, and regulatory agencies do a lot of great things for investors. I'm a person who actually appreciates regulation in the financial industry, and I know some of you will probably go, what do you mean by that, Blake? Oh, that's so horrible. They try to regulate the crap out of us, and they stranglehold us. But really, they do it to protect, protect the new investor that doesn't have the knowledge of coming to the morning edge every morning, and they come out here and do it themselves, and they get their asses handed to them because they don't know what the hell they're doing. All right, and I think these regulatory agencies, you have to be able to protect people from themselves, because unfortunately, the average person does not have the knowledge, nor even the desire to want to learn things to help them become more successful in the markets or protect themselves. And so the regulatory bodies have to do certain things to minimize them from hurting themselves so much. So anyway, that's my, we could go around and around and around in circles about that. But anyway, regardless, that's what I'm doing, is I'm working on a core position, the dollar yen. My cost average has been moved lower because I've taken some profits along the way, like last night. Okay, let's get into the analysis, because, well, first of all, there isn't squat happening today. We have what was I going to say? Damn, what was I going to say? We are going to, we don't have a whole lot of data coming out today. We have JOLTS jobs data, and we have wholesale inventories. God, spit it out, Blake. But wow, I just watched futures have been dropping aggressively this morning. We were only down like 60 points when I stepped in here an hour and a half ago. Crazy. All right, but the point I'm trying to make is we're going to be following equities pretty closely today, and remember, today is the day before Janet Yellen's testimony, so try to be careful not to get too aggressive with the dollar. Okay, try to be careful. Oh, look at the peso. Yeah, you guys, everybody's saying, hey, the peso. Let's let it get to 19. How about that? Let the peso get to 19. Okay, well, we're getting there. 18. Okay, so here's the peso up towards 19. We're going to have a real big divergent move here. I want to sell it 1890, 19. Somebody remind me when we get to 19. When we get to 19, I'm gonna short this thing. Anyway, what was I going to say? Today today, just be really careful chasing the market in any particular direction. We have Janet Yellen, her testimony is tomorrow, which, like I said, I'm not going to pretend to know that I know what she's going to say tomorrow. It's either going to be more dovish or more hawkish than expected. Okay. I have a feeling that she's not going to be as dovish as people believe. Remember, small lady carries big stick. Okay. She's going to hold her ground. She's pretty good at that. But I may be right, I may be wrong, I don't know. But I will tell you that tomorrow she's going to absolutely decimate the dollar, or she's going to save the dollar. That's all. There's the one thing I can point out, which I'm pretty 90% confident of, the dollar sitting on key support. We're either going to bounce like a bat out of hell tomorrow, or we're going to break down like it's nobody's business. Okay, that's it. That's it. Pretty simple. We're at a huge inflection point. And if you're out there making big bets on the dollar right now, you got to be real careful, because we're sitting on some pretty important support. Okay. And tomorrow, Janet Yellen's either, like I said, she's going to either crush the dollar, or she's going to just, she's going to, save it. All right. Anyway, let's get started with today's analysis. So here's the euro dollar, and the euro dollar is approaching trend highs. Now, I did exit my euro long yesterday. Okay. I got out of my euro long for like, I want to say it was like 70 pips on my cost average, something like that, or it was like 60 or something like that. I thought we would come back down towards the 111 area. This is from yesterday's analysis, but when I got out of the euro like right around here. I want to say it was like right around here. It's like 112.05. And I had a decent cost average. I had bought some on Friday at the 70 level. I rebought it down in the 50s, and then I bought some more in the 30s, and then I exited like at 112.05 or something like that. It was like 60 or 70 pips on my cost average. I did really well with it, But what I was thinking is that we would dip back down towards, not this deep. I was thinking we'd dip back down towards like 111, and I'm not saying that we can't, but the one thing that, if you look at the euro dollar, and gold's breaking out, by the way. See, it's the damn gold, but I'm telling you guys. Anyway, I'm gonna put that back in here in a second. But look at gold, and look at gold. Look at the euro. What it's doing here. It's wedging. You see this? See how it's wedging higher? Man, that's bullish. It's really looking pretty bullish here. As you guys know, and I don't want to beat this dead horse too much. There's a 618 retracement that comes in right above these current highs, which comes in at 112.60. So if we hit new highs, I think 112.60 needs to be looked at. You know how Paul said he's looking for a shooting star? I could see this happening. I mean, couldn't you see it? Like, here we are. No one's looking at this fib, right? No one's looking at that fib. Everybody's looking at this, hourly wedge, and they're like, "Oh my God, the euro's bullish," and da 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 da. And couldn't you just see this? Couldn't you just see us rip past these highs? Not maybe right there. We rip past these highs. We get up to 112.60. No one sees that 618. Remember that big 618 that I just removed? Okay, that 618 at 112.60, and then reverses. Okay, could you see that? Like false break above the highs and then remove. That's, I think, possible. And it might even be possible on a day like today, especially when people don't want to get too aggressive with Janet Yellen speaking tomorrow. So if you go back and you take this high right here, the 117 spike high down to the lows, remember the 618 comes in right here. Okay, right there. All right. So be really careful about being too bullish going into that fib. Now support, I'll just write the overnight lows, which is 111.60, but okay. And I do think that the euro dollar has turned bullish from being range bound. And the reason why that is, again, is this massive downtrend line. Massive downtrend line breakout. We also have this underside of this trend line that may be a problem on the way up. As we get above 113, if we get above that, it's possible too. So anyway, whoa, dude. Is the euro pound at, oh my God, are you guys watching the euro pound? Oh wow. Euro pound's ripping, and I have not added. Yeah, Roy said the euro pound's about ready to reach 78 cents, 78 pence. I haven't even added to it. I'm still in the same position from 76.20. I'm up 176 pips though. How many of you guys are long the euro pound? Anybody long the euro pound? Trinity is. Fret is. Primlatha is. Roy G is. Karat is. Esther's from 76.90. Damn, good. Michael says I took the euro pound a little earlier with a big profit. Good. Patrick H is. Stan exited his. Stan, come on. You're killing me, man. All right. Wow, look at the dollar yen's taking a crap dive too. Wow, holy shoot. Okay. James is. Ricardo exited about 20 pips ago. Yeah, I mean, I did not exit. Hold on really quick. Sorry, just doing a few things. Just give me a second, guys. Let me check something. We're gonna go into the pound anyway. Nick said cable's on support. It is. We're right here at that. I gotta get moving. Well, I don't know if we're really on support. You know, if we were down here at 43.50, I would have said we're on support, but we're not on support yet. Remember this 43.50? This is the 618. Remember this from yesterday? And by the way, do you remember yesterday we were right here? And I said, hey, you know, the pound. This is us yesterday during the morning edge. I said, watch out, the pound has support at the 143.50. We tagged that. I mean, I mean that was pretty good. I don't, you know, I don't pat myself on the back that often, but we actually hit 143.50 and 0.8 of a pip. So I was off by 0.8 of a pip yesterday. You have to admit that was pretty good. I impressed myself. That was a good one. Thomas remembers. He goes, "Damn you, Blake Morrow, for being off by 0.8 of a pip on this free webinar. Gosh damn it, you suck." Damn you, Blake Morrow. Yeah, you watch the cable here because Mirko, I will never watch again 0.8 of a pip off. Never watch. That's it. Today is my last day. Okay, 143.50. That's obviously key support. Okay, 143.50. Let's yeah, I think we're gonna blow right through this, and this euro pound's gonna squeeze more. Unreal, huh? Aussie New Zealand's taking a poop dive right now, which I don't like, which is offsetting all my very nice gains and everything else. Okay, so there's the pound. Resistance is going to be right here at 144.80. You know what? I'd probably say that it's less than that. Resistance is going to be, wow, look at gold. I'm sorry, things are moving right now, guys. I would say any move back up to 144.60 is probably going to find some resistance. We're in a range. Let's go over to the Swissy. Okay, so I got to take you guys over to the Swissy. So with the Swissy, I got asked by Takis from Athens, had asked, hey Blake, are the Greek gods singing about the Swissy yet? And I'm like, nope, I haven't heard any Greek gods yet regarding the Swissy, but I will tell you that when we reach D right here at 96.50, which is about 150 pips from where we currently are at, I am looking to get to, I'm looking to get long the dollar Swiss, all right? You take the weekly, the monthly trend, there's our trend line, right? There's our big downsloping trend line. You can see it coming through here. Here's the daily chart, okay? And let's, that same trend line that comes through, right? This red line right here, I'm gonna make it even more visible. Let's make it dotted, okay, right? That trend line, when we come hitting that trend line down here at 96.50, I am getting long. It's 127% extension or close to 78% retracement. It's gonna be, that's what I'm looking for right there, okay? So 96.50, I actually am probably gonna put in an order to buy it later today. I'm hoping we get there within the next couple of days. Okay, now I need to take you back over. I'm sorry, we were just talking about the Swiss, but intraday, the dollar Swiss, no reason to be buying it. Not right now. Not right now. Okay, we are approaching support, which the spike low is right here. Let's go over to the hourly. I mean, we're sitting on support basically. Okay, that support is 98, and we are. Wait, 97.85. Oh, we're there. Over where? Under there. Under where? 98.85. Okay, so we're, oh, 97.85, I'm sorry. We're there. It's right under there. Okay, so we're right on support, and it looks like we're going to break. Look at the euro dollar. It's ripping right now. It is ripping. Look at gold flying. You guys know that this is a breakout. This is a flag pattern. This is getting super ooper duper bullish right here, right? Look at gold ripping right now. I'm tempted to take some of the dollar yen off the table. You know, ahead of Janet Yellen. But the other half of me really just wants to stay short the dollar yen because I'm, you know, targeting much lower, like 900 pips lower. Look at oil. Oh my God, oil is dying. Oil is absolutely cratering right now. Holy cow. Euro pound, 78 pence. Yes, it is. Okay, so anyway, where are we at? Okay, so dollar Swiss intraday, where's resistance? I don't know. Figure this out. I'm running way behind now. Sorry guys, everything's moving. Everything's moving when I'm trying to do analysis, which is making it even more difficult. All right, so that should be really good support there, or really good resistance, but I'm going to write down 98.50. I just doubt we get up there again today, but whatever, 98.50. It's not great resistance. Okay, dollar yen, let's do that really fast before I get out of here. So here's the dollar yen, back under pressure, rolling back over as equities are rolling over. Gold's spiking, crude's dying. This 127% extension here at 114.40 is probably going to be support. I would think. You know, this 114.50 is the 786 retracement. So I think 114.50 is probably going to offer support today. 114.50, and then the resistance overnight was 115.50. Actually, it's 115.60, but 53 I think was the high, so that's all right. This is bearish. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. When I come back, we'll do the Canadian, the Kiwi, the Aussie, dollar index, all that fun stuff. Don't go anywhere. All right, guys and gals, this is Blake Morrow. You were listening to the Morning Edge webinar. So euro dollar just hit new highs. Gold is approaching that 1200 level again. Silver's starting to almost turn positive again. Let's go into let's actually take a real quick look at, well, we have to finish up everything here. So let's go over to the dollar Canadian. I'm going to do this rather quickly and catch us up. So here's the dollar Canadian, very messy. So yesterday we wrote down the support as being key support. We came pretty close. I mean, 138.50, I think we talked of it being in a range, you know, and I was talking to Joe, who's probably listening in right now. She had asked me yesterday, you know, hey Blake, what do you think about the dollar Canadian? I'm like, I'm interested in selling the dollar Canadian higher, like at 141, 140 and change. I'm not interested in trading it right now. I don't see like any great like opportunities. This dude that keeps tweeting me. I don't know why he tweets me. I think he tweets me, he's trying to impress me, but he's like, I'm out, I'm getting in, I'm getting out, I'm getting in, I'm getting out. And I'm like, dude, you're getting whipped around like it's nobody's business. It's like, man, I feel bad for him. It's like, okay. Anyway, kills me. All right. Anyway, with this dollar Canadian, 138.40 obviously support. 140 is going to be resistance. I don't even see any reason to really deal with it right now. I'd love to see it squeeze above 140, get a little push, you know, up towards the mid 140s, and then sell it. I just you have to see, you know, crude oil stabilize before doing that, and you know, crude's obviously it's under a little bit of pressure right now. So 138.40 is going to be support. Okay, resistance I think is going to be 140, and again, I'm not really excited about trading the dollar Canadian right now. Okay, let's take a look at the Kiwi. All right, so here's the Kiwi dollar. Kiwi is actually holding up pretty good because the Aussie New Zealand came down, so the Kiwi is holding up better. But notice how we stopped right on support here. Okay. Oh man, I'm tempted to go long the Kiwi right here myself. Ooh, do I have the intestinal fortitude to do that? I don't think so, but 65.60. Didn't we write that down? What did we write down as support yesterday for the Kiwi? What did we write down on the support with the Kiwi? Yesterday. You guys got it? Do you guys got that support? 65.60, is that what we wrote down yesterday? Okay. Today we've been as low as 65.62. How about them schnapples? That's still support, guys. 65.60. Okay. Gonna be key support. It's, you know, if you want to get long here, I'm not saying it's a good idea. But I could argue being on the long side here. You're at the 618, you know, you're sitting above the support. Your risk is just below here, you know. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think I'm going to, homie ain't playing that today, but I'm just saying, if you want to play off this support, for those of you that are looking for something to do, I mean, look, we just hit a new low. Relative strength is divergent here. This is really key support. If you want to play on the long side, you could keep your stops tight. Not something I really want to do at the moment, but you know, if you are, like I said, if you're looking for something to do and you're like, I'm aching to trade. I just can't help it. Okay. Resistance 66.20, 66.30. I would say 66.20. Okay. We're in a range. Let's go over to the Aussie. Okay, hold on really quick. Let's double check something. This Aussie dollar. We're at a 618 retracement with the Aussie. That's funny. The Aussie looks like it's just going to rip right back up again. And I know that dude just got short, so maybe it's about time to get long the Aussie right here. Okay, what's the low from today? $69.73. Okay, that's the low. Mind that low for today. Resistance, I don't know where resistance is. I mean, it would be a move all the way back up here. But, to re-challenge the underside of this trend line. But that's like at 70, 70, 70, 70, 75. I don't see any reason to trade it, but other than it's sitting on a 618, if you wanted to take a long with the Aussie and the Kiwi, just to do it. One of the things about the Aussie and the Kiwi, these currencies are torn between two things. You got risk aversion, which you got the futures that are down 140 points. But the flip side is you got gold, which is ripping. Okay, so when you have gold that's moving in one direction, you got stocks are moving the other direction. The Aussie and the Kiwi are just kind of being, torn back and forth. It's hard because they don't know if you want to follow risk appetite or you don't want to know if you want to follow precious metals and what they're doing, because both market forces are prone to influence the Aussie and the Kiwi, so it makes it a really tough call. But you can see gold's breaking out of this flag pattern. If gold breaks through 1202, it's going to end up being a pretty bullish move there. All right, let's go over to the dollar index. Now, there's no if and or buts about it, guys. This is support right now. And, I mean, if you guys want to be long the dollar, like I said, this is probably the place to do it. But we're sitting on really key support. I mean, this is like really critical support. But you know what happened on Friday? Last week, the dollar started to break before non-farm payroll. Maybe the dollar breaks down ahead of Janet Yellen too. You know what I mean? So the low here was 96.78. No, that was the low is 96 and a quarter, 96.25. Damn. Yeah, I mean, 96.25, that's really key support, right? 96.25. Maybe the dollar decides it wants to break down ahead of Janet Yellen. I can't. I personally would have a hard time pulling the trigger. I mean, I'm short dollar yen, but I mean, trying to initiate new shorts down here. Resistance at 96.83. we are in a range. We're holding on to it, you know. Okay. You know what I may do? Hold on. Let me do something really quick. I'm sorry, guys. I need to go over to my euro pound, and then I'm going to come back to the peso. I may have to take this one off the table here. So that's pretty divergent through there. Hold on. I should be taking profits here. I just don't have a big enough position because I'm not in a full size position right now. See how we're hitting new highs and we are diverging pretty hard. I'm I'm considering just taking profits off the table and reestablishing the euro pound at this stage in the game. Hmm. It's a hefty profit too. I'm long from 96.20, so or 76.20, excuse me, from down here. I think I'm going to take profits. I'm going to just look to reestablish that on a dip back down to 77.50. I'm out. That was a nice profit, 170 some odd pips. That was good. All right. I hope you guys did well with the euro pound. That was a good trade. I don't like this. I don't like how it's divergent. I'll buy it on a dip, but that felt good. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So we did the dollar index. Let's go over to the peso. Whoops. And for those of you that were long the euro pound, or if you're still long, congratulations. That's nice. Um, so here's the peso. Remember, we have a 261% extension. We have multiple 261% extension coming into play, by the way. There's the last range move down. It comes in around 19 yen, or 19 pesos, $19 per peso, actually. We have this bigger move that's on a weekly or monthly basis. That comes in at 1890, basically, where we're at right now, okay? 1885, which we're above right at this moment. 161% extension of just this last move takes us to 1898. So let's just hope we get up towards 1898 in the peso. I really would like to short it up there. But I'm thinking everybody else is trying to get short. So that's why if we can get to 1898, I can be a seller up there if we can get up there. I have a feeling there's just going to be a ton of people trying to sell ahead of 19. Like you and I are not the two smartest people in the room. You know, there's going to be a lot smarter people with a lot more money trying to sell and get short up here. There's going to be a lot of orders layered up here, okay? Okay, support probably back right here. Forget those spike highs. Think about here, about 1875. Okay, and this is let's go over to the Norwegian krona. Oh, look at this one. God, that's tempting to short, huh? Because if you short the US dollar Norwegian krona here, you're making the assumption that crude oil is going to bounce, right? That's your assumption. But also, if you short the US dollar Norwegian krona and the euro dollar goes up, then that's going to also help you out. So your risk, and I haven't taken this trade, I'm just thinking it through. The risk here is 865, right? If you short that, that's your risk. If you think crude's going to bounce, this is probably not a bad short here. $865, and then obviously supports down here at 845. And it's range bound. 840. I think it's 844, right? It's actually a little bit lower than that. So 865, 8.65. And we're in a range right now. We came out of that bullish trend. And let's see if the Swedish krona is doing anything. Yeah, I don't think there's anything really to do here. All right, here's your bias chart, guys. Let me see if I can take a couple quick questions. Kevin said, if I'm the smartest guy in the room, then we are in a lot of trouble.